All right. It's January 25th, and so this is Saturday, so it kind of hasn't officially been like the real deal yet, but yesterday was my last day of work at Millipore. I quit my job because I realized and decided and had a lot of encouragement from the person cutting off of my hair right now, that it's okay for me to focus on the things that are important, like my children and my health, and I've, haven't really felt always like I, had permission to do that or gave myself permission to do it. So it still feels a little bit like scary, but I don't know. I don't regret it already. And when I left yesterday and I was driving away from the building, I felt lighter already. And the further away I got from that place, I just felt better and better. And I laughed and I cried, and it was, a very emotional day. They also had a giant employee appreciation dinner, and it was really silly because I kept telling everybody, look at what they did for me. Everybody in the whole plant got prime rib and cheesecake and whatever. But it was kind of actually a nice way to go out on kind of a fun day when people seem to be lighthearted, because I know that the people who I have left to take care of things are pretty intimidated because I did a lot. But unfortunately, I was not really happy there, and even though I cared a lot about my job, and I definitely gave it my all, and then some, it just didn't work out for me there anymore. And I think, leaving without a really definite and clear and reliable or predictable next plan is very scary. Obviously, I have bills to pay and I have things to take care of, and I don't want to feel like I'm being irresponsible, but I think that I just have to also understand that at this point it would almost be more irresponsible of me to just continue to ignore the fact that I am not happy and not well in the path that I've been on for a long time now. And when we moved into the Drawdy's house, the plan was to take some really aggressive steps towards improving our lives. And when I first considered making that move, my thought or my intention even was to work as much as possible and do all kinds of overtime and everything I could on the side to just try to pay off bills and student loans and stuff like that, and get ahead so that we could buy a house or something at the end of this year or whatever. But this is really important also, and I think even if we don't get as far ahead financially as maybe the original plan, having mental health and physical health and being able to focus on teaching my kids and helping them learn some good habits and routines, and also helping my friends hopefully do the same thing for themselves and have them help me, is really, really important. It's more important than paying off my student loan 1 year faster or whatever the result would be. That will still, be a part of the whole picture, I think. We still want to try to be responsible and do what we can to improve our finances, but that doesn't necessarily have to mean just, being miserable for the next year until we're too tired to even enjoy any gains that we might have given ourselves. So anyway, So here I am on Saturday night. I'm at my sister's house. I'm having a little bit of a celebration. Cheers. Because I do feel pretty excited for this next part of the whole change and whatever process, and somewhat not very subtly, symbolically, my dear friend Kristie, who, as though she hasn't done enough for me already, is giving me a makeover. I got my hair cut and colored, and I tried to, look like a girly girl for a little while about 2.5 years ago, and that's the last time I've really taken care of my hair or myself really at all. And my son Harry's 2.5 now, and after I had him, I without any doubt or beyond the shadow of anything, had very severe postpartum depression and anxiety issues, and I'm still sort of coming over, I don't want to say I'm coming over the hump, I'm still kind of in the midst of it. And one of the things that as embarrassing as it is to admit, one of the things that suffers the most is my taking care of myself. So washing my hair or taking a shower as often as is healthy and should be expected are surprisingly more challenging. I don't feel unusual, and I don't feel overly ashamed or embarrassed, because I have spoken to other women and counselors, and I know that it's a relatively normal sort of area that tends to suffer with people who struggle with depression in general, not just postpartum stuff. But it is my plan and my hope, with support and help from my friends and my just this wonderful support system I have now, to start taking better care of myself. So we haven't posted a video in a while. Nope. And we do apologize for that. It has been pretty chaotic, and I think the adjustment period, probably not so surprising for some people who have been watching the whole thing, but it's been a little more than we might have been expecting, and there's been a lot of colds and sicknesses and things going around, and holidays and everything. It was a really crazy time to move anyway, and it's a crazy thing to move into with just so many people in such a small house. But we're still at it. We haven't killed each other.
Yeah,
we're still friends, and we've had a few things, and I actually
hard conversations.
I feel like it's gone better than it could, though, and I actually look forward to talking at some point about the things that we are learning about communication, and about just the total importance and helpfulness that it can be to just be like open and upfront about things and communicate. And it's not just better for the people involved, but the people around who might be affected by things that are whatever hard to talk about. And I mean, nothing huge has happened, but it's just good to start out with the habit of being openly communicating with each other.
I'm pretty good at that.
Kristie's
I communicate too much.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather too much than not enough, I guess, which I'm probably more guilty of.
I don't know. Ask your husband how he feels about my communication.
They've had some good talks.
Yeah, we have. We've had some good talks.
A lot of unexpected marriage therapy going on.
By the way, I have known her husband since I was 6 years old. He's like a brother. Okay, just
for the record.
Yeah, we're not just hanging out.
Yeah, and as much as we like to use the cute little hashtag sister lives, we would just like to once again
clarify,
disclaimer that we are in no way starting a commune or sharing our husbands or anything like that.
One husband's plenty.
Sister lives, not sister wives.
Yes.
So anyway, So hopefully now that I will be at home, we'll be getting a lot more aggressive on, taking the steps that we want to with organization in the house, meal planning, batch cooking, schedules, lists. I'm excited. I'm a little bit neurotic about that kind of thing, and
I'm just here for the ride. I have no idea how to do any of those
I'm looking
things.
forward to telling people what to do.
Please do.
I'm good at that. It's always easier to help someone else do it, But hopefully, as I'm helping them, I will be helping myself as well. And if I think that I'm being a role model, or that I'm, trying to help impart some wisdom or experience to someone else, I do tend to feel a little more on the hook to do it myself.
Tell them about the donuts?
I'm not a yes, yeah.
So I suffer from ADD, so it's very hard for me to be organized. And my sons are used to that. We are very close. And one day, Lori bought donuts for everyone, and my kids run upstairs, and they're like, "Mom, Lori labeled all the kinds of donuts." It was the coolest thing. They weren't excited. Somebody, an adult,
the donuts too.
An adult took the time to label the donuts on the box. Just roll in a pen, just the kinds on the box. They were organized.
I just,
And mind you, my kids are the 10, 9, 5. So the 10-year-old in the decade he's been alive, that's just a whole, didn't even occur to him.
Whole new world.
Didn't even occur to me to ever label donuts.
Okay, but it is it is a bit much, and I don't think we're going to be that.
I thought it was great. Everyone knew what kind of donut they were getting instead of licking it.
It'd be kind of like the Odd Couple, where one was a little too much in one direction and the other was the.
This is
except I'm not saying that you're
just
bad about it. Whatever.
No, it's okay. I'm not insulted.
I'm
fine. I know.
We'll find a happy medium, and then hopefully we'll be able to, adapt and adopt that into our everyday lives.
Yes.
And then we'll get out of their hair, and they'll just put everything